Hey guys, and welcome. Jeff Peterzak, piano player and piano teacher from Baltimore. In this tutorial, the second one for the tune Simple Man, we will be learning the harmonies, the triads, and the chord that is found in the song. Just a quick reminder for you guys, if you are new to these tutorials, there is a tutorial for Simple Man, the first one, that precedes this one. My suggestion for you guys is that you do these tutorials in order, because that's how I kind of design these lessons. Music kind of builds, it starts on the bottom and works its way up. So in the first tutorial we talked about the bass, we talked about songs in a minor key, and all of that information will help you better understand what occurs here. And then furthermore, if you haven't seen the tutorials for Bring It On Home to Me and Into the Mystic, those songs are in a major key. Your understanding of songs in a minor key will be better. You will understand things better if you understand songs in a major key. So consider taking a look at those tutorials as well, because I think the understanding you'll get there will help you better understand what we're going to do right now in this tutorial here for Simple Man. So please consider those suggestions. All right, so with this tune with Simple Man, we're going to be using this chord chart that uses the number system. And as you can see, there are no notes, and so all of the information that we're going to use to play this song will be found on this chord chart. And in addition to this chord chart, there's one thing we have to do first, and please never forget this. In order to make music this way, it makes a lot of sense that you guys know the song. So please, if you haven't done this yet, make sure you listen to the recording of Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. I chose Lynyrd Skynyrd because this is their tune. Other bands have recorded the song, but Lynyrd Skynyrd, this is their composition. When they composed this song, they probably played this in the key of A minor. Just be aware that the song is in A flat minor, and it's probably due to the fact that they detuned their guitars. That's what my guitar playing son tells me. I wanted to honor the key that the song is in terms of playing along with the recording. If you use the key of A minor to play along with this recording with Lynyrd Skynyrd's version, it's going to clash. So I used A flat minor for the teaching we're going to be doing here and for playing along with their recording. Keep in mind, if you want to play it with your friends and your family, your buddies, whomever, they're going to want to play this in A minor. The great thing is that these tutorials will help you train your ear and help you get an understanding of music. So with those skills and that understanding, I hope that you'll find the transposition process from A flat minor to A minor to be not terribly difficult. All right, so now let's talk about this tune, Simple Man, in how we can learn the harmonies, the triads, and the one chord. After we know the song, which we talked about that being the most important first step, the second thing we have to know, of course, is the key that the song is in. So the notes of an A flat natural minor scale will serve as a primary source of the melody, of the harmonies, which are the triads and the chord, and that A flat natural minor scale will help us understand the composition of the entire song. Now let's review the notes of an A flat natural minor scale. We learned about these scale tones in the first tutorial. Let's just refresh our understanding. Those scale tones are A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, and A flat. And the number assigned to those scale tones will be A flat is the first note, B flat is the major second, C flat is the minor or flatted third, D flat and E flat are the fourth and fifth scale tones, F flat is the minor or flatted sixth note, and G flat is the minor or flatted seventh note, and then A flat, the eighth note, happens to be the same as the first. So when a song is written in a minor key, we'll be using a natural minor scale or Aeolian mode. Remember, that scale has a minor third, a minor sixth, and a minor seventh. And so therefore, an A flat natural minor scale has a C flat, a minor third, an F flat, which is a minor sixth, and a G flat is a minor seventh. In the prior tutorial for Simple Man, we learned that these Roman numerals correspond first and foremost to the scale tones of the natural minor scale that's being used as the key of the song. So when we see the minor or flatted third, as we see in the first measure, that means we'll be playing a C flat. The minor or flatted seventh in the second measure corresponds to the note G flat, and the Roman numeral 1 that we see in the entire last line corresponds to an A flat, the first note of an A flat natural minor scale. Now, when we learned about the harmonies in Bring It On Home to Me and in Into the Mystic, we learned that these Roman numerals take on an additional meaning when they appear in a chord chart. When we see a Roman numeral by itself, that means that we will need to play a major triad. And so therefore, the two harmonies in the first line of music, the harmonies built on the minor third and the minor seventh, they will be major triads. Now again, don't confuse that flat sign next to the 3 and the flat sign next to the 7. That flat sign means that we're playing a minor third, which is a note of a natural minor scale. If that flat sign weren't there, the 3 by itself would mean that we would be playing a major third. But again, since we're playing a song in a minor key, that flat sign to the left of the 3 and to the left of the 7, that simply refers to the scale tone of the natural minor scale. So as far as the harmonies go, when we play a harmony built on the third note, on the flatted third or the minor third, we'll be playing a major triad. So the first harmony in the first measure will be a C flat major triad. Now I'll explain how to play this in just a moment. We'll just talk about how to understand this first and then we'll move to playing. The harmony built on the minor flatted seventh note will be a major triad built on the minor or flatted seventh note, which is G flat. Now in the last line of music we see the Roman numeral 1, but that Roman numeral 1 is followed by the lowercase m on 2 occasions. When a Roman numeral is followed by a lowercase m, that means we will be playing not a major triad, but a minor triad. So we will be playing in the last line of music, on 2 occasions, a minor triad built on A flat, which is the first note of an A flat natural minor scale. Now there's one chord in the song, and this chord is in parentheses. It's in parentheses because you can choose when and if you want to play it. When you hear the recording, you're going to hear this harmony used from time to time, but not all of the time. You get to decide when you want to use it. That one harmony is going to be a chord. It's the Roman numeral 1 followed by the lowercase m, which means we'll be playing a triad, a minor triad, but the number 7 means we'll be using the minor or flatted seventh note that we're going to add on top of the triad. So this will be a minor seventh chord, an A flat minor seventh chord. So those are the harmonies. Before we move to playing these harmonies, I'd like to give you guys one more piece of understanding about where these harmonies come from. I think knowing where the harmonies come from is going to be important to your understanding of how music is put together. So these harmonies will come from the related scales or the modes of the natural minor scale. The one big difference is that they are not assigned a Greek name. We will just simply refer to the modes using the number of the scale tone on which the related scale or the mode is built. Let's show you guys how this works. So let's begin with the first harmony, the harmony built on the minor or flatted third. If we go to the minor or flatted third note of an A flat natural minor scale, that is C flat. If we start a scale on C flat and end it on C flat and play just the notes of an A flat natural minor scale, which are C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, and C flat. These scale tones right here will be the third mode of an A flat natural minor scale. The triad tones will be the first, the third, and the fifth notes of this mode. And so therefore, if we play a C flat, an E flat, and a G flat, notes 1, 3, and 5, this will give us the notes of a C flat major triad. The notes are C flat, E flat, and G flat. Let's now move to the second harmony, the harmony built on the minor or flatted seventh note, which is G flat. If we start a scale on G flat, end it on G flat, and play just the notes of an A flat natural minor scale, G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, and G flat. I press and hold down those keys. If I play the first, the third, and the fifth notes of this mode, of this related scale, I will get the notes of a G flat major triad, a triad built on the minor or flatted seventh notes. The triad tones are G flat, B flat, and D flat. And now lastly, to the harmonies built on the first note. Now remember, when we have a mode that is built on the first note, that mode will be the exact same scale tones as the natural minor scale that's being used as the key of the song. So the first mode of an A flat natural minor scale is simply an A flat natural minor scale. Those scale tones again are A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, and A flat. I play and cover those keys. Now to play the triad, we will be playing an A flat minor triad, which are scale tones 1, the minor or flat a third, and the fifth is E flat. I'll play this up here so it's not as muddy sounding as it is down there. Now this is a minor triad, and remember, part of this entire process is training your ear. If you hear this triad here, an A flat minor triad, and you compare it to this triad, which is an A flat major triad, you could hopefully begin to distinguish there's a difference in sound. A flat major and A flat minor. So it is the third note of a mode or a scale that will determine the tonality of that mode or scale, and then furthermore, it will determine the tonality of the harmony, the triad or chord. So when you have a major third, that produces, in this case, a major triad. When you lower that major third by a half step, now we have minor. So this in particular is an A flat minor triad. So we see the A flat minor triad on 2 occasions in the last line. Here is the optional chord. I will go back to playing the scale tones of an A flat natural minor scale. This is again the first mode. If we keep the triad tones, A flat, C flat, and E flat, above this fifth note is the minor or flatted sixth, which is F flat, and then the minor or flatted seventh is G flat. So if we play an A flat minor triad and the minor or flatted seventh note from this mode, we now have the notes of an A flat minor seventh chord. Now keep in mind, we saw this in Bring It On Home to Me. When we have a chord symbol and there is a number 7 to the right of the Roman numeral, that means that the seventh note is not going to be a major seventh, it's going to be a minor or flatted seventh. This note G flat is a minor or flatted seventh note, and it is from, again, the first mode of an A flat natural minor scale. Again, all of these scale tones, all of these rather chord tones are diatonic, but the way we communicate this seventh note, which is a minor flatted seventh note, is simply just with the number 7 when we see it on the chord chart. Okay, so now I think you guys have a foundational understanding of these modes of the natural minor scale, and now we could start to kind of put everything together, use our understanding, train our ear, and now begin to play these harmonies on the keyboard. Okay, let's do that now. So for all of the harmonies here, guys, the major triads, the minor triad, and the minor seventh chord, we will continue to play all of the harmonies in root position, which means that the first note, or the root of the harmony, will be at the bottom. And with the triads, the major triads and the minor triad, we will continue to employ the technique that we learned about in Into the Mystic, where we will add the 8th note on top. So we'll have 2 ways of playing a triad in root position. Again, one, let's say the normal way, notes 1, 3, 5, and then with the 8th note on top. And by adding that 8th note on top, it's going to allow us to, let's say, change the voicing of the triad, which kind of adds another dimension to our playing, but while still keeping our hands in, say, root position. And that's going to be, it's going to be helpful for our learning, and it's also going to be helpful for our music, because by adding this other dimension of changing the order of the triad tones, it's going to make your playing sound just better, more beautiful. All right, so let's work on the triads. Let's work on the harmonies now, and we'll begin with the major triad built on the minor or flatted 3rd note, which is going to be a C flat major triad. At your keyboard, you guys can play along with me. The notes are C flat, E flat, and G flat. 1, this is a major 3rd and 5th note. We strike and we hold. Now remember our fingering, guys. We're going to be using our fingers pinky, middle, and thumb in both hands to play our triads, major and minor, in root position. When we play the eighth note on top, all we're going to do is we're going to extend our hand, still keep the triad tones, but add the eighth note on top. Now keep in mind that our thumbs will be overlapping on this C flat right here, and that's perfectly fine. I happen to put my left thumb closer to this part of the keyboard and my right thumb farther away. That's what's comfortable for me. You guys get to determine what works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Again, the fingering as well will be fingers pinky, middle, index finger, and thumb in both of our hands. The only finger we're not going to use for any of these harmonies in root position is our ring finger. So no ring finger for any of these triads with the eighth note on top, or as well for the chords in root position as well. All right, so again, C major triad like this, and then with the eighth note on top. Notes C flat, E flat, G flat, and C flat on top. Now to the triad built on the minor or flatted seventh note, which is going to be a G flat major triad. The notes are G flat, B flat, and D flat. We strike them together, all together, and we hold and we listen. And now we extend our hand to play the eighth note on top. G flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat on top. Again, 1 major third, 5, and eighth note on top. And now to our minor triad built on the first note. This is an A flat minor triad. The notes are A flat, C flat, and E flat. We strike and we hold. And now we're going to add our eighth note on top. A flat, C flat, E flat, and A flat. And these notes are 1 minor third, because it's a minor triad. Fifth is going to be E flat, and A flat will be the eighth note on top. Now to play our minor seventh chord, that chord that's in parentheses that you guys get to choose when you want to play it, we have again the minor seventh chord. To get to the minor seventh chord, we can continue to play just the minor triad with the eighth note on top. And what we're going to do is we are going to lower the eighth note by a scale tone. So again, we're using the first mode of an A flat natural minor scale, which happens to be an A flat natural minor scale. We simply descend from the eighth note to the minor or flatted seventh note, which is a G flat. So now we have an A flat minor triad as the foundation, and we simply just add the minor or flatted seventh note, which is G flat. So this sound right here is the sound of a minor seventh chord. And if we toggle between the minor triad to the minor seventh chord, and then back to the minor triad with the eighth note on top, you may recognize that sound from the album. So now that you have those harmonies under your fingers, my suggestion to you guys is simply that you practice them, but in systems. Do, let's say, triad tones 1, 3, 5, just like this. And then now you could add the eighth note on top. Flatted 7, 1 triad. And the next time I'll kind of toggle between the one triad and the minor seventh chord. So you can practice those and get comfortable, play slowly, and just kind of go among those harmonies until you're comfortable. The next step is now to make things musical. Remember this recording. Playing along with an album, I think, is one of the best ways of taking, let's say, an exercise, the stuff that we're working on and understanding, and now creating something musical and something that's really enjoyable. The first thing is you have to get everything under your fingers, you got to train your ear, you got to get an understanding. But after you do that, the next step now is to make it musical. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to keep it nice and simple, and you guys could do this too. I'm going to play simply the triads, notes 1, 3, 5, for all of the harmonies here. In my left hand, I will play just the root, as we learned about in the first tutorial. And I'll use the same fingering that we learned about in the first tutorial. So we're going to put our first finger on C flat, fourth finger on G flat, and third finger on A flat. And I'm simply going to play along with the recording. Remember, these measures are just going to repeat over and over again. But we're going to play them just to kind of get comfortable, and you're going to hear when we move from, let's say, the introduction to the verse, to the interlude, and then to the chorus, okay? So let's give it a shot, guys. And you guys could either do this with me, or you could just listen. It's entirely up to you. Flatted 3, flatted 7, 1. Flatted 3, flatted 7. This is the introduction. This is the beginning of the verse. Flatted 7, 1. And I just did it there very simply, using just the root of my left hand and then just the triads at root position, notes 1, 3, 5. The next thing you guys can do is simply now maybe extend the triad. So instead of playing notes 1, 3, 5, you can play the 8th note on top. And then you guys could do that with the recording as well. The next step you guys could take is to use the bass line that we hear in the song. So for instance, if I go back to the beginning here, I could get everything together. I could do the bass line that we learned about in the first tutorial where we did this. And then you could do that with the recording as well. I could just do a few measures just to show you. Like that. I'll stop there. So what's occurring is you guys have a vocabulary. You have notes in your left hand, the bass notes that you learned about in the first tutorial, and then you could combine them with what you're learning now in your right hand as well. Another option is you could play, let's say, the harmonies in your left hand. We learned about it Into the Mystic, where instead of playing the entire triad, we could play the triad with the 8th note on top, but omit the 3rd note. And have it sound like this. And if we add the triad in our right hand, like this, and that's another option you guys can use. So the idea is that you have a lot of these, let's say, these tools that you guys can employ whenever you would like to. And that's kind of a cool thing about learning music this way, is that you kind of, you acquire these ideas, you get this understanding, and then you could incorporate them in a way that makes sense to you. I'm going to leave you guys with one last idea, and this is going to be about arpeggiating or breaking up the notes of the triad. And so what I mean by that is that instead of playing the triad like this, we could do this. That's breaking up or arpeggiating the notes of the triad. Now please keep this in mind and be clear about this. There is no right or wrong way to, let's say, string these notes together. You could do this in any combination that you like. You could start at the top, whatever you like. I'll give you guys two options. The first option, the one I just played, was this. I started on the bottom, where I played the triad tones 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. just like that. And the numbers that I'm saying are just simply the notes of the triad tones. If I extend the triad, we could do this. And here are the notes. 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 5. So that's an option you guys have as well. If you want to incorporate the bass line with the arpeggiated triads, you may have to alter, let's say, how you play it. Here's a suggestion. So if we go back to the triad in this position, we could do this. 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. And if we extend the triad and play the 8th note on top, it will sound like this. 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, da, da. 1, 3, 5, 8, 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 1. Again, these are just ideas, guys. Again, you could kind of use these as kind of a jumping off point. There's no right or wrong way to arpeggiate these notes. So that was option 1, where we started on the bottom and we ascended. Now let's try a different option. This is our last one, where we could kind of use the first note, let's say the focal point. It's going to sound like this. Here's a combination. 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, just like that. Now if you want to extend the triad to play the 8th note on top, it could sound like this. So what I was doing 1, 3, 1, notes 3 and 5 together, back to 1, notes 5, 3, 1, or rather 3, 5, 1 all together. I'll do one more time. 1, 3, 1, 3 and 5, 1, 3, 5, 1 together. And I repeat that pattern for G flat and then for A flat. 1, 3, 1, B flat and D flat together, 1, B flat, D flat and G flat together, 1, and then A flat. 1, 3, 1, C flat and E flat together, A flat, and then C flat, E flat, and A flat together in 1. So we're just taking the triad and we're just kind of playing around with it, and this adds interest. And so since you are able to play these triads in these 2 positions with the, just say the standard root position triad and the triad with the 8th note on top, by being able to arpeggiate or to break up these notes, it's just going to add interest and beauty to your music, and that's kind of a cool thing. I'll leave you with one last thing. If you want to play the bass notes with this arpeggiating using the first note as a focal point, we have to change things a little bit, and this is how it's going to sound. And I'm doing this, guys. 1 3 1 5 1 da da. 1 3 1 5 1 da da. 1 3 1 5 1 1 3 1 5 1. And if we do it with the 8th note on top, we could do this. I'm doing here, guys. I'm starting 1 3 1 notes 3 and 5 together, back to 1, and then when I play notes 3 5 and 1, that's where I play the bass note. Da da bum 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 da 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 da. I'll do it again. 1 notes 3 and 5 1, and then when I play notes 3 5 1, that's why I hit this bass note. D flat, C flat, G flat, and then I play notes 3 5 1 of G flat while playing the 5th note, E flat, G flat, A flat. And then I play these notes, C flat, E flat, and A flat. Notes 3 5 1 with A flat in the bass, da dum. And then I just kind of go back. Now, these are a lot of ideas. The last one that we just did, that most recent one, is a bit complicated. So if you don't have a lot of experience in music, you may just want to take your time and stick with, let's say, just the triads, the block triads, as opposed to the arpeggiated triad, just the block triads, maybe with a single bass note. Remember, as you guys are playing and you're practicing, plug everything in and use the recording, because the recording makes everything more musical and takes things out of, let's say, an exercise type of thing, and it makes it more song-like. And again, everything that we're doing, training our ear, getting an understanding of music, doing everything here at the keyboard, is all about playing tunes and playing tunes with other people and having fun. All the stuff that we learned together, you guys now get to work on this and you guys get to practice. And when you play, again, you guys could pick and choose what item, let's say from the buffet line, you want to plug in and use. You could use something consistently, let's say triads in root position, triad with the 8th note on top, or you could vary them. You could do triad in root position to triad in root position with the 8th note on top, triad, A flat minor triad, A flat minor 7th chord. You can mix things up. By having all of these tools at your disposal, the more you work on, let's say, practicing these things individually, you'll be able to put them together over time, and again, that's where the creativity occurs. So I hope that you guys had a positive experience here learning Simple Man. It's a simple tune, but there's a lot of things going on, and when we're learning music and trying to, just do a lot of different things, it takes some time. So I do appreciate you guys sticking with me and listening and learning with me. Remember, if you guys need more instruction, if you do not have a foundation in music, consider checking out the 10 Essential Lessons at alrotra.com. You get some really great instruction with an overhead camera. You learn all of your triads and your chords and your scales, which will make playing all of this stuff much more enjoyable and meaningful, and it's going to be a better experience for you. So, thank you guys very much. Work on this material, have fun, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next tutorial.